The sound of the chimes woke me up. I had overslept on the very day that I was supposed to see the delights of the new life that my mother entangled me to. I was the only black-skinned who felt misplaced since my mother was already absorbed in the traditions of the Western. Every moment I thought of the awkwardness of my skin color, I got a lump on my throat, but being the girl that I am, I wanted to show them of how high I could raise my flag. I heard a knock on my door, and as I was going towards the door I realized fresh flowers were on the vase. Where I come from, flowers are only seen in the garden. "Good morning, miss, breakfast is served," she said. One thing I was taught by my mother since I was little is to freshen up before showing a creased face on the table, and so I dashed into the bathroom and took a quick bath. In less than 10 minutes I was through, and when I walked to the dining room I realized that everyone was present apart from me. The silence in the room would have awoken the dead. I could hear my own feet dig the ground. It was a room that had forks and spoons, happy sounds until the time when I went in. It's like everyone held their breath for a minute. I felt like I was walking in a moog. One of the maiden pulled a chair for me, and Saturday I noticed Charles' mother, who is supposedly is my grandmother, now look at me with eyes that were bumpy creased and with eye bags. "Young lady, did you not train in your country to say sorry and thank you? When you are late for the table you apologize before taking a seat, and when a chair is pulled for you, you learn to be grateful," she said. Everyone stared at me. I could barely breathe. I looked at my mother, who was sitting next to Charles, and she gave a coy smile that you could hear her thoughts saying, "Do it, damn it." I looked at the maiden, gave a quick smile, and said thank you. I could tell they were still looking at me, from the way I picked my plate to the way I served my scone and soup. I could feel their eyes rubbishing me, but I needed to collect my manners and look like it was normal to have a bad day and enjoy my meal. As I was busy trying to make me look good and everyone had moved on and enjoying their meals, my spoon fell. The look from mother's eyes tore my being. I wanted to push my chair, bend and pick. "Lisa, it's okay, you can pick another from the platter." Mother spoke with a tone that only put warning signs. She knew that I was never for the idea of her remarrying after Papa died. She was afraid that I would spoil things for her. I took another spoon and went on sipping my soup. When breakfast was through, we left the dinner table and I headed to my room. While was almost at the door I heard someone whisper my name. "Lisa." I looked back and there was no one. I went back to the stairs and no one was even looking up. "Strange," I said as I went to my room. I sat and pulled out my favorite book to read. I had not done 2 lines before I saw my door open. "Mother, you frightened me," I said. "Lisa, what was that on the table? What are you trying to do?" she scolded as she walked towards me. "Spoon fell. Mom, you know that I didn't want to come here. I don't know anyone here. They stare at me as if I have some disease. Didn't you tell them in advance you have a black child?" "I want to go back home to Grandma," I said with a frown on my face. "If I am going to continue being married to Charles, then his family will have to learn to accept you as well. Now get up. It's time to know the family and be on your best behavior," she said as she pulled me from the bed. She held me to the shoulder, and as we walked down the stairs I realized I left my phone. "Wait, Mom, let me go back for my phone." When I went back, my door was closed. "Mom," I called, and for the first time this frightened me. Mother came back and tried the door and it opened. "You are just being paranoid, Lisa," she said as she clicked and walked off. "What's wrong with me?" I whispered. I followed Mother to the living room. There were 2 villas on the western side of the coast. One which was shared by 2 families, so our villa hosted another family that was there for long holiday. Unlike us who were only there for 2 weeks, everyone was trying to make choices on what games they wanted to play, from ski diving to zip lining. I didn't have any idea of what I wanted. I was quiet the whole time until Jack, the youngest son of Charles, asked me for my views. I stepped my toes in a way that you would think I was looking for answers from my feet. My mind was blank, but then they thought I was just being rude. "She's been to school almost the whole time, you know. Seasons in Africa are different from here." She lied when she knew all my holidays I spent with Grandma collecting wood and gathering corn from the fields. "You, maybe zip lining," I said with doubts on my tone. Everyone agreed. You could tell they did so to see me fail as earlier as possible. "Zip lining it is," Jack shouted as they headed to take their favorite sits on their father's Jeep. All my life I never had a close relative with a vehicle, so any seat was good for me. It made no difference, and having 3 new brothers was a heavy thought to settle on my mind. first time zip lining was breathtaking. I somehow felt like the family was out there to kill me. But then I later came to realize that it was some kind of a family initiation. I got used slowly by slowly, and I realized that it was easy to fit in. As long as you put your mind to it.